That is Parris Island Marine Corps Band. And what you just heard is the iconic, incomparable, the Marines hymn. Every Marine knows when they hear that song, they stand at attention until that song is over and they sing with everything they have. By the way, my name is Sergeant Major Carlos Ruiz, Sergeant Major of the United States Marine Corps. And we are here at Parris Island, South Carolina, where we make United States Marines. Right over my right shoulder is one of the most iconic images in our nation's history. Marines raising the flag in Iwo Jima on Mount Suribachi. What that told our nation is that there are people today, as they were yesterday, willing to fight for every piece of freedom that we have today. And thank you to them for their sacrifice and their relentless pursuit of never stopping moving forward. It is a reminder that freedom isn't easy, that it isn't free, and it is gifted to all of us by those who are willing to pay the ultimate sacrifice. So, for the first time ever, here at Parris Island, South Carolina, welcome to the Pat McAfee Show, and hoorah, veterans.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Parris Island, South Carolina, where they make Marines on this Veterans Day, November 11th, 2025. This program starts now.
Hoorah!
Is what we're saying on these particular grounds, on these hallowed grounds where Marines have been made since the beginning of America, kicking people's ass. Now, obviously, it's Veterans Day across this beautiful country, and we just wanted to say thank you to all those who signed a line and said, hey, we don't want there to be a fight. We don't want there to be war. But if there is going to be, which is the reality of the current world that we live in, we will definitely be the ones that'll go and kick some ass for this country that we call home. We say thank you to all of our vets, serving, and those that have passed away. And we are so incredibly honored and thankful to be live from where they make Marines. At the beginning there, you saw a man chatting from this particular stage who is the highest ranking enlisted Marine in the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us, Sergeant Major Carlos Ruiz.
Yeah!
Yeah, that was I think you are muted. I think we need to turn his microphone on. We can't do that here. That is something we cannot be doing on these particular grounds. Super Bowl champion, college football national champion, Ryder Cup winner, A.J. Hawk is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
Darius J. Butler is here, 9-year NFL vet. Your dad, I believe, in the Army,
Yes,
a Army brat, if you will, born in Germany. Veterans Day is always such a beautiful day to say thanks and shout out to all those, not only in the military and serve, but also families alongside of them all, and an appreciation.
Absolutely. Huge appreciation to everyone that signs that dotted line. Like you mentioned, my pops, he served in the Army. I was born in Frankfurt, Germany, on an Army base, and my youngest brother is now serving in the Air Force. So obviously this day is near and dear to my heart. And this is awesome, man. We had a chance to experience something special this morning that I'm sure you'll get into and talk about, but this is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, we're just kind of dropped into Parris Island here.
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't want to disrupt anything because what's happening here is very important to America. Now, our show very stupid, us very dumb. Sports people, that is kind of how it goes. Toxic Table at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Con Man, kind of absurd that we're just dropped into their world. There's Marines and future Marines, recruits right now currently, that are going to be doing drill here on the parade deck behind us. On this parade deck behind us here is where the Eagle Globe and Anchor ceremony takes place after 13 weeks of boot camp here at Parris Island for the Marines, where they are officially made Marines. This statue right here, Iwo Jima, with the flag raising by the Marines, is where they gather around after earning their Eagle Globe and Anchor, and they talk about what they're chasing, which is the perfect Marines, who are these men that basically did this in Japan. It's like, and then we get a chance to kind of walk around and see everything. It's absurd that we're here, and obviously, I hope we do it some justice, Con Man, honestly.
No doubt about it. I mean, it's almost like there's different waves of emotion as you see different things all over Parris Island. Like, you go to that plaque on the Iwo Jima Memorial, and there's sand from the beach, and like even just being around something like that is special. But just being here these last 24 hours, whatever it is, it just reaffirms your faith in America. Like you really do just have like we are fine. You hear a lot of the noise from the outside world, especially dumb internet show. Conspiracy theorists. You see a lot of dumb stuff. When you come to a place like Parris Island, it's like, thank God this place exists in America, because it just really it just brings everything together, and it's just an honor, man.
We got a chance to celebrate the 250th birthday last night of the Marine. So let's talk Sergeant Major. We have some brand new Marines that are joining us here, sitting in front of the stage. And you come up here, and obviously there is a massive, like, oorah, oorah, oorah. Can we talk about the passion that Marines have for each other? Because it felt like last night, the 250th birthday. What I realized is you guys say happy birthday to each other. I think that happens everywhere when it's a Marine's birthday. Can you just tell me a little bit about the family that is the Marines, and why you're so proud to be the leader of Marines?
Yeah, this is unbelievable. That's 3rd Battalion Kilo Company about to graduate this Friday. Hoorah. And that's right.
Hold on. Okay, so Sergeant Major, I don't want to cut you off, but it's going to probably happen. I apologize. It's kind of how I operate. I am not disciplined enough to be a Marine. But if I just say, like, if I say hoorah, they'll say it back?
Yeah, say it.
So I just look at them and I go, 3rd Battalion, congratulations on, conquering this incredibly tough task of boot camp at Parris Island. Hoorah! Holy hell, that felt pretty good. Pretty cool. What if Ty does it count?
Ty, yeah, do it.
Hoorah! That wasn't bad. Okay. So we'll be able to do that. That feels like a pretty cool thing. Now, I will say, sounded like whenever you did it to him, there's a much more attention to detail, as there should be. You're the highest ranking enlisted Marine. What does that mean, and why the Marines, do you think, is the perfect kind of military situation for the United States of America?
Yeah, I look across and I see those future Marines here. They're Marines now. They're about to graduate this Friday. But I came 32 years ago, just like they came 3 months ago. They're looking for something that's different, that's a different path than any other person in their life. They were looking for the Corps to change something about them. Their confidence, they're too skinny, they're too fat. By the way, we don't allow fat. But it is absolutely a tribal calling. You become a Marine. We don't just give it away because you show up here. You got to earn it. And they know, because the individuality that they came here with was stripped away within days. And you saw this morning, 2 weeks from arriving here at the depot, the way that they were moving as a team, no longer thinking like an individual. Now, they're supposed to be accountable for their own actions, absolutely. Know the task, know their jobs. But it is as a team that they win. That's how they become invincible. That's why they win, and that's why nobody will ever want to tangle with the United States Marines.
Hoorah! Yeah, that was awesome. What you just said, describing what you're creating here at Parris Island. Obviously, there's the yellow footprints. And you talked about stripping down the individuality. That starts immediately upon arrival. And I think that type of discipline and the way you guys go about your 13 weeks of making Marines here is something that even goes back old school. I think, like, to Connor's point about us feeling like, man, so much is moving, so much is changing. Is the world going to be able to be tough enough? Like, are we able to do that? It feels like this 13 weeks here at Parris Island has been pretty similar to how it's been for the, I don't want to say the entire time here, but basically it's been pretty similar. Have to be tough, have to get through here, have to create dogs, because the mantra is first the fight, right? Isn't that kind of the Marines' mantra, is first the fight? So you have to create certain types of people here, and there's only like maybe one way to go about doing that. Is that an accurate kind of description?
So it is their responsibility to carry that legacy forward. And so immediately this pressure comes over you that you must not be the generation that gets whooped. Right? It is up to you to continue the legacy that those that came before us, these giants that came before us, that they will honor that legacy when they get on the future battlefield. This is an era of technology, right? And they knew exactly what they were stepping into. They YouTube everything, they read everything, they asked a bunch of questions to veterans or whoever came as a Marine from their family. Still, they came and they handed their soul over to a Marine Corps drill instructor, the most lethal, legendary, campaign-wearing, oh my goodness. And they say, yes, change me. And they deliver.
Okay, so let's talk about those DIs that are changing these maybe, lost souls or somebody searching for things into a not cold-blooded. Yeah. A dog. We'll just say an absolute dog, a war-fighting dog. First to fight mantra. Hey, we're going to be, if there's any fights happening, Marines are going to be a part of it. Like, that is just the difference between us and everybody else. We are trying to create war fighters here. Like, that is what we know. Tough people, everything like that. The DIs, the drill instructors. So drill sergeant, Army. Drill instructor, Marines. Now, drill instructor title that I know, first sergeant. So drill instructor, first sergeant, Army drill sergeant. So I think people kind of get it kind of conflicted. The drill instructors at the Marines, they wear these campaign covers, these flat bills, okay? And they have to project themselves as the most on-point Marine in the history of the Marines 24/7. Okay? And lights start at 0400. We were there this morning as it happened. And these drill instructors, there's a senior drill instructor, then there's an experienced drill instructor, then there's two younger drill instructors. And it is their job to transform these 79 people. Okay, there were 79 guys in there this morning. In this particular platoon, there is 6 platoons per company. There are 4 companies per battalion. And I think there's 4 squads per platoon, if I'm not 100% mistaken. Did I get that right?
You're good.
Hoorah! Yeah, okay, they're saying I got it right too. But from 0400 to 2000, these drill instructors are creating the Marine. They are the ones that are basically the Marines culture. There's 565 of them here on Parris Island at this exact moment. There's anywhere between 5,000 and 8,000 recruits on Parris Island at any given moment. Can you tell me about the drill instructors? Because let me tell you how I was introduced. I was asked to play a World War II drill instructor in a Marines movie called The Mosquito Bowl. And the more I learned about it from my high school friend, First Sergeant Gartland, who was a drill instructor for 8 years, and then coming down here, I realized that I was being placed into a position of impossible reflection. There was no way I could be an actual Marines drill instructor or the greatest generation's Marine drill instructor whenever they had just gotten out of World War I to serve for World War II as drill instructors, create future Marines. So the task was crazy, but these are superhumans, it feels like, these drill instructors. They have to appear that way, they have to act that way, they have to be that way all the time, all day, every day. Who are they, and how is a drill instructor different than maybe what other branches of the military have?
A drill instructor can only do so much with the quality of Americans that come and raise their right hand. So that Marine Corps recruiter must look like, walk like, talk like a United States Marine as well, because they're out there representing the entire Marine Corps, alone and unafraid at local high schools, colleges, trying to tell you that this is a tribe that maybe you want to try to belong to. So when they do arrive here, those drill instructors have been trained for 12 weeks, right? And then there's DI school instructors, right? And then there's levels of experience here so we put our very best to develop the future drill instructor that will come across the street to this side of the house and get after developing young people, right? So it is what you saw, okay, the hours, but that's just when they're taking care of somebody's daughter and somebody's son, right? They understand what they have in their hands, right? So they must be thoroughly and professionally trained, but the day's not over. So when the lights go out, then they get to the business of preparing the next day. And then they're up, right?
Yeah, it's
and
like 2 hours of sleep a night for 13 weeks, basically. That's what I heard. It's like 2 hours, 3 hours max sleep. And oh yeah, you're on at 0400, literally saying, stand, hoorah! A lot of that, there's a lot of that this morning, but it is an impressive thing. And once again, to echo everything Connor said to start, it's like we are so thankful this exists still in the United States of America, and we appreciate the hell out of you. Now, the boys have some questions, if that's okay. Sergeant Major, AJ, go ahead, boss.
Yeah, Sergeant Major, you said 32 years ago you came here. I guess 32, was this your plan to be in the position you are now? Like, did you think this was my life? Like, this is going to be my life from here on out?
No. This is much like I'm sure some of them are thinking now. I'm going to do 4 years. I'm going to get disciplined. I'm going to get a leg up on my competition, and I'm going to get some reps and sets, and then I'm going to exit the Marine Corps, and I'm going to go chase the bigger dream, right? Whether it's to be a governor, a doctor, or whatever, this is a place to launch you that way. But as life has to say, right? Mm-hmm. You tend to find your place, and you start realizing, hopefully sooner rather than later, that, oh, this is about people. And the way that you can, as a leader, say there's something different about you, and I think you should do this. Imagine somebody, how they looked at you maybe one day, says there's something different about you, right? And someone actually looks at you, not through you. And that's what the Marine Corps leadership does, is they zero in on that human being, and they can get them moving in the right direction. So, as my commandant says, 32 years later, I'm still thinking about getting out.
Yeah. They did look at AJ's jaw and his structure. Yeah, and they were like, hey, that head could do some damage. We need him to play some football. D-Bud, who obviously grew up in the military life, has a question for you.
Yeah, speaking of football, and as a football player, we try to steal so much from, the military, the Marines, and the different armed forces. I want to know, what team are you a fan of? And I want to know how you became a fan of that football team. I'm assuming you're a football fan.
I am a big football fan, and just like all of Kilo Company, they're all Cowboys fans.
No, they are not.
All of them, every
one of them is a Cowboy fan.
Wow,
that's not true.
I verified this morning.
How'd you verify?
I made them all raise their hand.
Yeah, he goes, Kilo Company, raise your hand if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan. There's like 10 in there, I think. Then he goes, everybody in Kilo Company, raise your hand. It was awesome. You are a Cowboys fan, though.
I am. I've been suffering for 30-plus years, but still hanging in there.
How'd you become a Dallas Cowboys fan?
My father. So I was born and raised in Mexico and came to the United States when I was 11, and we moved to Arizona. And in Arizona, it's Cowboy fans.
Really?
Back then.
Okay.
Half the stadium was Cowboy fans. I'm not sure what it is now. But it was, in my family, you are a Dodgers fan, and you're a Cowboys fan.
Well, congrats on the World Series.
Yeah.
Congrats on the World
One out of
Series.
two.
Yeah, that's not bad. They're going to be good for the long haul, it seems like, especially with the way you guys are kind of cheating with the salary thing. Isn't that what you guys are doing? You said no. What he wants to do, dude, we're going to defer money however you want to. Jerry Jones would be happy to hear, though, that the highest-ranking enlisted Marine is a Dallas Cowboys fan. How do you feel about Jerry? You think Jerry's doing a good job? What do you? Let's go ahead. You said 32 years you've been suffering as a Cowboys fan, or however long you've been suffering as a Cowboys fan. What are your thoughts on the state of the team?
I think that maybe the military model, the Marine Corps model, could probably fit into a Cowboy executive model, meaning that every commander has a senior enlisted leader, a sergeant major. That command team makes the team, right? And you got that senior enlisted leader providing advice and saying, you may not want to do that. Think about this, this, and that, right? And then together, that commander owns that decision, absolutely, but it is that team, that senior enlisted, that is telling the hard truth, right, about what we need to do to move forward. Maybe, I'm just saying that there needs to be a command senior enlisted leader, a sergeant major in the Cowboy organization.
You're saying somebody is going, Jerry, we're not trading Micah Parsons. It sounds like that's what you're
Get
saying.
him on the phone.
Yeah, it might be a good idea. Ty has a question for you, Sergeant Major.
Yeah, rooms are so much different. Guys have changed. And, the way they're brought up obviously is much different than it was several years ago. And that applies in business and all other different walks of life. Do you believe that this institution, where you're at right here, like this is maybe one of, if not the only place where that stuff doesn't matter? People who come in here, like there isn't this group of young kids, like they don't get it like the previous group did. Like, do you think that this is the one place where people come in and you're producing the same Marines that you were 50 years ago, 100 years ago?
Yeah, but 100 times better and more deadlier, more lethal, right? Because the Marine Corps is about the human being, so we equip the Marine to get after the fight. AI model says there's a 4% chance that this mission is going to succeed. The Marine looks at 4% chance and said, that's really, really freaking good. So I am ready to go. So those are the kind of Marines that we need to make.
It's not zero? Got it.
4% is like really high because they don't know how to fail, right? Because they have to work and depend on each other, right? And to leave it all out there is what it's about. So we are always evolving, we're always modernizing, but we're never letting go of how we got here, right? There's a million ways from nutrition to the way that we get after resilience, the way we get after grit, and all those things that you see here, that will continue. But there is a better way that we are modernizing to get them to a certain level, like a Division I athlete, right? When they enter that program, that's what we're trying to get after with these Marines.
It was 4:07 this morning, and they were in the middle of their third round of V-ups, I do believe. this is the last one. Then they would stop. Up, everybody up. Then hit the deck. Chest through deck is one that they're 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then I heard chest through deck from one of the guys. I'm like, yes, this is awesome. But that was 4:07 a.m. Sorry, 0407, I believe, is the exact time. This video is being taken at probably like 0404. I don't know how you 0404, but it was 4:15 in the morning. Crazy. Everybody in that place full sweat.
Crazy.
They had gone through, I have no idea how many jumping jacks on the side, and I mean, it was by 4:20. It was like, all right. What are we doing now? Well,
but what you saw, Pat, was incentive training on the side. That's what you said. So you move slow. You're moving where you're not supposed to be moving. You're touching your face. You're doing something that's undisciplined. Then you get reminded by doing some extra things, right? Because we relate that to combat, right? You're moving. You're doing things that you're not supposed to be doing and giving away your position, or you put trash out and somebody will find out where you were. Everything that we do has a why to it. Not just do it and learn it this way. They understand why we do what we do.
And they're going to find out if they don't.
They're going to find out.
Yes, they
found out today.
Yes, they're very quick, actually. Hey, good morning. Yep, line up. Yep, you, Fatso, right over here. That's not how it was. Yeah. It was unbelievable to watch.
They were speaking English, too, and I didn't understand. I probably understood maybe 10% of the words that were being said. It was like kind of like organized chaos, or all those things cross over to actual combat, I'm sure.
They do, and that what you saw is maybe the movement of the recruits, what they're having them do, but the drill instructor's eye is zeroing in on hydration. Did they sleep? How are they moving? The arms are going down. They're taking accountability to ensure that every recruit woke up that went to sleep that previous night. So for a parent that's out there, this is the kind of professional that is looking after
every morning. They counted out every human. I think it was between 56 and 57, there was some sort of disconnect, and they were standing right next to each other. And boy, DI was pissed. I mean, because you have your hand up and then you drop it whenever you count. And I think it was 79, because I heard the last guy say 79, all accounted for, but like the entire thing. 56 and 57 though just clearly held up the entire operation.
Oh yeah.
And lo and behold, IT was right around the corner for 57. It was one of those like, no, we're not all waiting for you, basically.
That's right.
And like, hey, you leave a mess. It's not just you that's going to be in shit. It's going to be all of you, all of us. So it's a beautiful thing to watch the team building and the discipline being dropped in there, and knowing that you only have 13 weeks. In war times, I think it was 8 weeks or 7 weeks. I forget exactly what it was during war times.
We have wartime programs of instruction, so we have to get the throughput, right, and inject the culture and the training, and then in stride, right, the lessons being learned in combat. So as they're making movement to the fight, it is the after actions that are being injected into those Marines. So they're learning to the newest TTPs, the procedures that are happening on the deck. So we do have moments where it's an emergency and we get up and go.
Yeah, it is a crazy thing. Last question here from Connor for you, Sergeant Major.
Yeah, Sergeant Major. I watched an episode and a half.
Slept in a barracks last night, by the way.
Yeah, awesome time in the Echo Company, the Evil Empire. It's great to be a part of it. But watching some of the Netflix documentary, one of the things that's very apparent is the fact that, sure, you sign the dotted line, but it is a calling. Like, it's not just something that you can really understand unless you're called to do it. And, you know, seeing people like this who have just graduated and just watching the documentary, that's very apparent. And one of the things especially, and it was kind of the generational Marines, you know, like the families that kind of pass it down to their sons, kind of to their, you know, cousins, however you want to say it. In the town I grew up in, the Codys and the Gramlicks, oorah. I had to get one. Their fathers and sons and grandfathers, they all served. And then in the documentary, the Price family, I believe, or the Smith family. I don't want to get it wrong, but it's Copen, Roland, Smith, and then Price was kind of the son that they adopted, and they ended up, you know, going to Parris Island, I believe, and you know, eventually going over to Pendleton and, you know, Okinawa. But what do you think that says about the Marines as a whole when generations of family members are, you know, signing that dotted line? And there's not just, you know, the calling from one person, but that calling also kind of gets passed through. And then what do you just think of the documentary as a whole?
Yeah, we're working my way through the documentary as well. It is unapologetic of what Marines do and what they're after and what the mindset is each and every day. It is starting to become more and more a family thing to serve, right? But I would tell you that's not good enough, Pat. Like, that's not good enough for America. This is an all-in thing that we all must choose. I hope that we are finding a way to inject into our children and to the future of America that service is a thing. You don't have to join the Marine Corps, but maybe there is something else that you can do to learn about what it means to serve and give, and not worry so much about what's in it for me, right? And in that, I think you can find yourself, right, and get after whatever it is, the dream that you wanna get after. So you can come to this tribe, and then you can exit this tribe and build a family, build a business, and then all of that ends when you're in your 50s and you're close to 60s, and then the tribe calls you back, right? And then you're wearing things like a red jacket and USMC hats like First on Garland, hoorah. Like you're doing all these things to return back to the tribe, and you're cutting cake, and 25 years, 30 years since you last wore a uniform, and yet you still return. So if this is the kind of life that you want to live, and this is the kind of service you want to have, and the impact into the human beings, that's how you get to live forever, right? That you don't just arrive on Earth and you go away. You make an impact on the next generation after next generation, and this is why this tribe is so tight.
That was awesome. Everything you've said has been spectacular. We appreciate the hospitality.
Thank you.
Last night, obviously, we got a chance to, not you, obviously, you have an actual job to do. At PFC. 200,000, I believe, is who you oversee, 200,000 Marines.
I helped the common out with training, manning, and equipping of over 200,000 Marines.
Well, obviously, you can't just be having booze like alongside everybody else. But last night was the 250th birthday. Yesterday, I guess, was the 250th birthday of the Marines, older than the United States of America. And we just so happened to be at the Brigand Brew here at Parris Island, or on Parris Island. And I believe that's a pretty legendary place. And I'll tell you what, Monday Night Football was on, which we're about to dive into, and I think Marines are pretty good at hammering beers.
Yeah, sure.
I think Marines are pretty good at hammering
Some of the
beers.
best.
And we obviously were honored to be there. We're not the only ones, though, that were from the sports world that wanted to say happy birthday to the Marines. Here's NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman live from the NHL Hall of Fame yesterday.
Greetings from the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. I wanted to join Pat McAfee virtually to Parris Island to wish Marines a happy 250th birthday. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for your service. And again, happy birthday, Marines.
He didn't drop an "Oorah!" at the end, but he did want me to say that he wished he was there at the Brigand Brew to chug a bunch of beers and happy birthday to the Marines. And also he'd want to say thank you so much for the hospitality. Thank you for your service to our country. Thank you for your service to the Marines. And thank you for your service. Happy Veterans Day, man. We appreciate you and many, many others that are signed a line and say, I'll go ahead and do it for America.
To every Marine out there, we love you. We're proud of you. My wife of 22 years, a Marine herself. I love her. And this is what it's all about, is showing you what this place is like so you can go forth and tell the rest of America that we got a good thing going here.
We will certainly do that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Sergeant Major Carlos Ruiz.
Yeah, Sergeant Major.
Thank you.